one that was corrupted last week. It was all messed up. The file. Okay, so today we're going to look at an arithmetic sequence. Tomorrow, I think we spend 2 days on a geometric sequence. Okay, I think it actually starts to get a little bit easier. But you'll find that there's this letter D that they use. D is your common difference. Okay, and I'll show you just your example in just a second. We have a recursive formula and an explicit formula. So on I'll zoom in. The recursive formula, they always tell you, hey, what number you're starting with. That means that's your first term. So you'll write that. So if I started with the number 2, then I would write a sub 1 is 2, like whatever your first number is. Okay? Then they define the sequence. I know that's a little blurry. And let's see if that's any better. A little bit. So they're saying, okay, here's your previous term plus the difference. Because in an arithmetic sequence, you're adding a number every time. Okay? So that's what you're adding right here, the common difference. You could be adding a positive or it could be a negative, which ends up being a minus sign. And this will make sense in a second when we actually get to some problems. I know this looks like a lot like a foreign language. Then you have an explicit formula, okay? And again, you have, you're saying the term, and then you've got D, that's your common difference again. You'll have like maybe the number of terms n minus 1, okay? But we'll go through it in a second. But those are your two things that we're looking at. Just like last class, a recursive and then an explicit. Okay? Then something else, I think there's one problem on your worksheet today that should not be on there. Or it could be tomorrow's. But it asks for, let me see what it is. Yeah, I think it's on today's. So a sequence is just a pattern. We can find a term, all right? There's questions that come later that we're going to find like a series of numbers. It's when we add them all up. So today there's a problem that asks for you to add them all up. We haven't learned that yet, so we'll have to mark it off. I don't know why it's on there, but anyway, there's our two formulas, recursive, explicit, and I'll point out everything in a second. Are y'all copying that? Some of us. Our first problem, they tell me identify the arithmetic sequence. All right, it's just what's the pattern? Okay, that's another way to say it. And is it an arithmetic sequence? So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Is this arithmetic? What's my common difference every time? What am I doing to get from here to here? Adding 3. Am I adding 3 every time? Yes. So it is an arithmetic sequence because you're adding 3. And so I would put the difference is 3. And we'll get to that in a second, like where we actually use that. But yes, it's an arithmetic sequence because I'm adding that same number every time. Is this one an arithmetic sequence? What am I adding here? 3. What am I adding here? 5. Am I adding the same thing every time?
You're adding to like plus.
Yes, but so it's not arithmetic because arithmetic means that I need to add the same thing every time. Okay, and I can use those formulas. We'll get to them in a second. As long as I have a common difference every time, it has to be the same difference.
So that's just what no.
So yeah, you would just say they said there is no common difference. It's not arithmetic. So you would say no, it's not arithmetic or whatever. Let's just do one more. They have 2, 4.
Is it only
8.
adding or can it
Yeah, we'll get to geometric later. So like this one, you're multiplying. That's supposed to be an 8. You're multiplying by 2. Am I adding 2 every time? No. So it's not arithmetic. That would be geometric. Yeah, well, we'll get to that, and we'll get to that tomorrow. So you have to add the same thing every time. And you would notice that in the formula, like they had plus D. Okay, are we good with our first type of problem?
Does arithmetic go with subtraction as well?
Subtraction is the same thing, yeah. Because that would be like adding a negative. Yeah, so, yeah.
So if it was like 10, 8, 6, 4, 2.
then you would put your common difference as negative 2.
Okay.
And then if you were going to write a formula, you would put minus instead of the plus sign. And here comes some with the formula. It says, what is the 100th term? That's what we're going to look for. That's going to be our n. Was there? Oh, you can't see it. Is that what you said? Oh, did somebody? Oh, I knew somebody said something. I didn't know who it was. 100th term. It's telling us it's an arithmetic sequence, and these are my first 2 numbers. All right, but I know it's arithmetic. So what did I add? 5. So my common difference is 5. I know that. Now, whenever I'm trying to find a term, we use the explicit formula. So here's what they gave us earlier. I'm going to write down the explicit formula. Some of you wrote this down. A plus, that's n minus 1 times d. That's the formula. Now I'm going to tell you what each of these things are, okay? You're going to look for a term. I'm looking for the 100th term. A is our first number in our sequence. What is our first number? 6. N is the one we're looking for, 100, and D is our common difference. So see, they would write it like this. They're saying, oh, I'm trying to find the 100th term. Okay, usually I just don't write it. I just kind of leave that blank. But A, I would put 6 plus 100 minus 1, which if it were me, I just would have put in 99. And then times 5. And you should be able to put that in your calculator. And what does it tell you your 100th term is? 501. Is that what you said?
No.
Oh, I think that's what it says. They got 501.
Okay.
Did anybody else get that? Try it and see. Make sure.
I need to get mine out.
501 is what they get.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're good with that? All right, do y'all need one more of those?
Sure.
Yeah, sure. Sure, we'll go ahead. We'll finish this lesson in no time. So, all right. They give us 3, 5, 7, and they tell us, yes, it's arithmetic. What is the 46th term? So I'm going to say, okay, I'm looking for
Is that what we're doing today, arithmetic?
Yes. We'll start, geometric will take 2 days, I think. All right, what's my first term? 3. And then my n minus 1, I usually just go ahead and subtract. What's 46 minus 1? 45, okay? But you can write that step if you need to. I don't like to confuse people. And then what's my difference? I'm going up by 2. It's a positive 2, okay? So make sure if it went down 2, what kind of number? You should have put a negative 2. Okay, and what do we get for this one? 93. Yep, the 46th term is 93. And you can use this. I know it's hard to memorize formulas, but like on the ACT, if they ever asked for the 102nd term, I don't know if they do that, but you don't want to spend all your time on that problem counting out. But I don't know that you can remember this formula either. So, but here it is if you want to.
Can you do that up there for a second?
Do it.
Can you do that up there for...
Yeah, I'll leave. Let me pause this, and then I'm going to look at our next one. Our next one's a little bit different. You may not want to use this formula. This is how you'll do number 6. I've lost my pen. So they're basically saying...
Yearbook students within 6th period need to go to the computer lab today. Any yearbook students need to go to the computer lab.
What they do is they set up a formula, and they're saying, hey, this last term I tried to find. Here was my first term. And then I need to find my difference, my common difference. That's basically the formula. Here's your first term. Why is it 3? Because there is 1, 2, 3. Normally it's just one common difference. But how many times have I increased? 1 or decreased? 1, 2, 3 times I have decreased. So they're just trying to find what's the difference. But basically you can just subtract the 82 minus 100. What is that? And that's basically how we would solve this. That's a negative 18. And then divide that by how many spaces are there? 3. That's how they solved their formula. And they got that their difference is negative 6. So what would be this number? What would be down 6 from 100?
How'd you get 3?
Okay, the between each number is how many spaces. I went up, or no, I went down. Sorry, they're decreasing. They went down 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. From this number to this number, they took 3 differences. So that's why you're going to divide by 3. So you basically just subtract this minus this, and then divide by how many times.
That's not gonna be.
And I get -6. Does it not work?
6, it goes up.
No,
So,
it's not gonna be.
That would
the
be
same
94. No, you're not going to use the same, hold on, formula every time. What's 94 minus 6? What is that? 88, and then 88 minus 6 is 82. That's my problem. Now, your problem starts with 4, and I would just go to 46.
Wait a minute.
Okay? Like from here to here.
It's 42.
And there are 1, 2, 3 different, and you know you're going up. So you said that difference is 42 divided by 3. What's 42 divided by 3?
Well, hang on, now you get that.
Okay, again, so what I did is I'm just taking this number and this number,
That's what was right.
and what's 46 minus 4? 42. And it's going to be positive this time, which is good because I'm going up, all right? And then how many spaces is it? 1, 2, 3. So I would divide by 3. What is 42
What happens to
14.
the equation?
divided by 3? I can still use that. I'll do the equation again.
14.
14. So that means I'm going to add 14, and then I'm going to add 14. And that would tell me my 2 answers. I'll go over it one more time. What's 4 plus 14?
18.
And then what's 18 plus 14? 32. Now, with the equation, I could do the same thing. I could say, let me start let's say that here's 46. That's the number I'm getting to. 60 doesn't matter. It keeps going on forever. Okay, just look at this next number, 46. So, equals, what's my start number? 4 plus, and then how many times? 1, 2, 3. 3D. And then you can solve for
That's
D.
what my list
That's
is
the
now.
same thing. I don't care which way you think of it. All right? If I had another blank, I would have to go up
The
with
next
my
one
zero.
is a little bit, no, it went up.
So,
That's one of the main.
that's number 6. Is that the only one like that, y'all?
Number
6 and 7.
Number
6
7 is a lot easier.
And 7. Okay.
8 goes
And
to
some
the-
of them, yeah, you might can even do just by looking at, oh,
No,
now that
no,
one,
No, can't.
that one you just take the average, right? Did you just not
That's 3.9 and 7.1.
subtract and divide?
The way it's set up is really good. Like it looks.
Did they ask for an arithmetic mean?
It's just 11 divided by 2, so it's 5.1.
Oh, on number 8, yeah. You just, on this one, on number 7, you can just add them together and divide by 2. It's just taking the average. What are you, if you're missing something in the middle,
Harlan Bessler and Kennedy Taylor reports class. Harley, Kennedy reports
you can
class.
just add them and divide by 2.
Same on
Or,
8, right?
now number 8, yeah, and they actually give us a formula. Let me show y'all. Is anybody still in number 6 or 7 though?
Number 7.
Number 7, you can solve the way we just did, but they show you another way in the book. Here, I'll put it up here. For number 7,
Sure, man.
they show you when you're just missing the middle term. Like the one before, we were missing several terms, right? So that's why we had to do it that way. When you're just missing one term in the middle, you can just add and divide by 2. They call it an arithmetic mean. Okay, an average. Mean. M-E-A-N. No, not a meme. Okay, so an arithmetic mean is just basically an average. It's just found in the middle.
I wish that we would have like fun on those.
We do. Okay, so if you're trying to find the arithmetic mean on number 8, what are you going to do with those 2 things? You're going to add them together and then what?
Divide by how many?
Divide by 2. Yeah, that's all the arithmetic mean is. So are y'all okay with
Remember
that?
that, Emily. That's like student council thing. She always does it. Student council things too.
That's right.
So their picture says you have all these rows of seats, and we want to find out how many seats are in a row that's further up. So they said row 1, our first row, has 14 seats. Row 2 has 16 seats. We can already tell our difference, right? Our common difference. And it's asking how many seats are in row 13. So we can write our formula to find this, and it's, what's our starting number? 14 plus n minus 1. 13 minus 1 is what? 12. Times what's our common difference? 2. Does that make sense, y'all? They just kind of give us a word problem, or they gave us a picture, really. So what's 24 plus 4?
28.
24. 24
What?
plus 14 is 30.
I meant plus 14. I think I said plus 4.
You definitely
20,
plus 4.
Where did you get
14,
24?
because 2 times 12. I'm sorry, I think I said 4, though. 24 plus 14, and we get
24
38.
plus 14 is a bunch different. Than
So, yes. So there's 38 seats all the way up there at the 13th row. We're adding more and more seats. No, that was just my example from in the book. Now yours is like this. You're number 9, and I think you're number 11. So they kind of give you just problems worded a little different.
For that one, I just did 20 times 11, and that's 220 plus 17 is 237.
But, oh yeah, it got 237.
Wait, you only because she makes 11 a day for 20 days, so you just do 11 times 20 plus 17.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that one you don't even have to have. And it doesn't ask for a formula or anything. So yeah, you can just figure that one out. And then number 11,
Where did you get 12?
where did she get 12? On day 12? Like you're talking about on hers, on number 11? So, well, you're just going to first of all, find your common difference and your starting number. Your common difference is 3. What's your starting number? 26. Now, you're going to plug in for n, because this is your formula. A plus n minus 1 times d.
So it's going to be 26.
Uh-huh. Plus, what are you looking for? The 12th day. So, 12 minus 1 times your, yeah. Okay, and so find your answer on that one. And that's pretty much, y'all, everything for arithmetic sequences.
Very cool.
And then, did I say that we have a quiz tomorrow?
We'll be in here tomorrow. Okay,
Oh, we're not going to be in here tomorrow or
So you say.
Wednesday.
Or Thursday. Oh, we will be.
No, we will be in here Thursday. So Thursday, what we will do is we will review, and then we will quiz.
And then go to beta.
And then go to beta, yes.
And then
What hour is that?
Fourth.
Oh, it's after this class, the beta.
Physics.
So,
I hate physics.
Well, we have a test tomorrow.
And what?
Physics.